now it's like now I'm feeling rushed to listen to something or to watch something, and I'm like, what, that SpongeBob meme, Mr. Krabs, that's me sometimes, or like where it's of the other SpongeBob where he's like that. Yeah, I feel like that sometimes, and it's just like I feel bad because I want to support, but
Hello and welcome to the Krazecast, the podcast run by the fans for the fans that brings you close to the action. My name is Roxy, and today I'm joined by my fellow host, Jay.
hello. To keep up with all our content, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at CrazeMag, and YouTube, The Craze. And if you are watching this on YouTube, before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch our next episode, and hit that bell for notifications for whenever we upload new videos. So today's topic is a little bit of a different topic than we normally talk about. Usually we're all like, fun stuff, but I feel like this is a topic that I think it needs to be talked about, especially as older fans. It happens, and maybe if you're a younger fan too, maybe you're feeling it too. So what's today's topic, Roxy?
Today we're going to talk about K-pop burnout, which, at least to me, is like when you find yourself just unable to sort of keep up with anything or even necessarily care about anything. We've all been through burnout at some point, especially as you get older. When you're working a 9-to-5 for years, at some point that shit gets to you.
Yeah. So I guess like burnout in general, it's just like I think everybody goes through it. You go, whether you're going through school, whether you're at work. So as people who are into their hobbies, you even get burnout from what you like to do too. I mean, sometimes it's just like, I'm tired of playing video games right now. I don't want to play video games. So I'm just going to put it away for a while. And I can admit, because look at me, streamer hasn't streamed in 8 months. Sorry.
That's why I can't be a streamer. You have to be so consistent. Like,
sorry. But at the same time, it's like platforms are always evolving. And I think it also goes the same for K-pop, where, there are just so many groups out, so many tours happening, and so many concepts and all these comebacks happening all at once that it's just like, how do you keep up? Right? How do you manage dealing with all of this? And sometimes it's just you blank out and you're like, I don't want to touch this right now. I think as me and Roxy are older fans and we've been fans for a longer time, it's definitely, you see the generational shift for like, we came in during like 2nd gen, 3rd gen, and now we are in 4th gen, and they're like twice as many groups as when 2nd gen was around. And it's just like, huh?
It feels like an exponential shift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like it did like the bell curve thing. So it's like 1's here, 2's here, 3's here, 4's here.
Yeah.
So like, and watching, I think the community too, the way that the K-pop community has evolved kind of contributes to burnout happening more, just because like, I know anytime a person on social media yells at me to stream, I shut down immediately.
Yeah.
You're like, we need to stream this, we need to get these numbers, we need to do this. I'm like, no, we don't fucking have to do that.
Right.
I've never understood that, because it's not organic. Like, the reach is not organic. When BTS was hitting millions of views early on, that was organic. That was before people were like, you have to play this over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So like, I think streaming culture has really contributed to accelerating burnout for a lot of people, especially those of us that have been around long enough to remember what it was like before that. So like, there is a sense of nostalgia too, of like being somewhat upset at the way that things have changed, at least for me. I get nostalgia glasses a lot with everything, really. So like, even if I was having a terrible time 5 years ago, I'll still be like, oh, you remember how fun it was 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, when there was this comeback, and things like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, part of the way the community is now too, I think, is like super draining.
And then I also attribute it, if you're watching this on YouTube, sorry. Part of it is also attributed to like it's become such a numbers game at this point that it's not as fun anymore when it becomes all about the numbers. And not to say that numbers don't matter, they do, like for some people they do, and I'm not going to invalidate that, but for me it's just like when it comes to the numbers, like I don't enjoy it as much anymore, because now, like you said, all the focus just becomes the streaming, and it's just like what happens to the actual content. Not to
It's
say that
less authentic to me.
like
It feels like you're taking value away from it because you're so focused on success of it that you're sort of like you're not considering that the music is supposed to make the statement itself.
yeah.
If that makes sense. You're too focused on album sales. And every time, like anytime I see something, chart numbers, album sales, like I don't I really don't care personally.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just like because like an example is like okay, ATEEZ's last comeback with Gorilla. I loved Gorilla.
Mhm.
Um and so like organically I was watching the music video a bunch because like
Yeah.
the feeling it gave me, I was like this is what I want out of K-pop. This is something I love. It makes me feel good. So like I want to go back and watch it. But then when people tell you you need to keep watching the music video all the time, that's when like
Yeah.
I can't. My my need to combat people telling me what to do makes me like go against that. But my point there being is like if people enjoy it, they will do
Yeah.
those
They'll watch it.
numbers.
Hmm.
They'll keep doing it because I would go to it like every day for like 3 weeks. I watched it every day because I
Yeah.
loved it so much. So like pressuring people over that, I think
Yeah.
is just put so much negativity out there. And we
Right.
don't need that right now.
Right. Right. And also putting, like, not only putting pressure, making other people feel bad for not doing it. That's just not fair. That doesn't make you any less of a fan. You're gonna get listens out of me. Like, listen, when Stray Kids dropped 143, of course, still one of the only songs, like it's hard for me to get past the rest of that song to get to the rest of our album because I love it so much, and that happens where you're just like, I'm gonna have this song on repeat for a while and you're gonna get numbers from me, but don't make others feel bad just because they're not streaming, they're not keeping up that way, because they're going to show their support regardless. And so sometimes, yeah, seeing all of that, it sucks. And it's just like, I'm supporting. Don't invalidate how I'm supporting. Don't invalidate how others are supporting. And if you choose to stream, okay. I'm not going to say anything about that, but don't put me or others down if they don't stream either.
I think what the internet has done for the worse, really, is that like people don't like live and let live anymore, even
Yeah.
about things as stupid as like streaming numbers. Like there was a time where you could do your thing, I could do my thing, and like we'll be chill about it. But now you can't do that. And I don't know if these people understand that like people have different opinions and different ways that they live, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Like there's not one right way for anything.
All right.
And I think when you're younger, you don't really understand that either. Like I always go back to that because I feel like old and wise all the time now. But it's
Yeah.
like, I just feel like
Yeah.
people don't get that, like, your way is not the only way and it doesn't have to be. Like,
Yeah.
this is something we all enjoy. And then you're adding negativity and then people start fighting. Like, there's enough fan wars already, but all people do on K-pop Twitter is fight. That's it. That's all they
Yeah,
do
that's
anymore.
true. And I think that's a good point. Another, like, to segue off a little bit, like that's another point where like being on social media is just draining because all you see is negativity at this point. It's just like, and I mean, you can curate your timelines and your social medias to how you want to see it, but like sometimes things slip through the cracks and you're like, I don't want to be on social media anymore,
I know.
and
And it's so weird to like grow up with social media, right? Because
yeah.
we've had it since we were young.
Mhm.
We were there when it started.
Yeah.
Like I got Twitter in high school, I got Facebook in middle school, like things like that. So we get I got like after a week, I'm like, I need to not even look at any social media whatsoever,
Yeah.
which is like I help run our social media, and sometimes I'm like, I can't look at this. Like, I can't.
Right. No, it's just like as like what people don't realize what we do, like not only us as podcast hosts, but we what we do for the craze is that we're on social media too, because we want to know what is the latest news, because we need to also prepare ourselves for like, okay, this comeback's coming back, this tour is coming back. So we can't necessarily avoid it because it is what we do and it's in our line of work. But there's just days where like, fuck, it's so exhausting, and I'm just like, don't want to be here right now, don't want
It's
to be here. And it's like sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's just like, no,
there's
no.
just like so much, and sometimes like I just feel like it brings out the worst in people, and the media does it too, because all people click on is things that are negative. People like,
Yeah.
that's why your real-time news always has like the most dramatic headlines and the clickbait and stuff, because that's what people click on. Nobody, what's so draining to me about K-pop these days, I feel like nobody wants to like have the fun part about it,
Mm-hmm.
the music part where we're watching a video of them being silly. There's none of that like organic chill sort of vibe. It's all,
Yeah.
we need to hit these numbers, here's the next album, get ready to do this, oh this like fucking, here's a rumor about a K-pop idol bullying someone, oh it's fake but he left anyway. That was about Raven, by the way. I don't know if you've seen that. The
Okay.
agency said it was fake. I don't know if it was fake, but it was someone anonymous. Like, it's just all, constantly, there's a
Yeah.
constant cycle of negativity, and it's like,
Yeah.
my real life is hard enough that like I don't need this. Like, I don't want to see this. And
Yeah.
it's really hard when you love something to feel that way, I think.
Right, right. And so I think going along that lines of, I think also for both me and you, like, we love K-pop, but the negativity is there. And also, it's just like sometimes it's like you can't get hyped up for something anymore. And that's part of the burnout, where it's just like, oh, like sometimes it's like, oh, this group is coming back. I'll listen to it later, It's gonna be there. And it makes me sad because like these are some of my favorite groups or artists, but I never really got to listen to them. And it's just like it's too much, and I can't handle like what is going on. And like I said, we curate to what we try to take breaks and everything, but like sometimes it's like you can't, even when you log back on after not being around for a few days, it's there and you're like,
I mean, some of it's unavoidable,
yeah. And it's just
because
like,
like even if you curate to not see certain things, they're going to slip through anyway, especially when
yeah,
they're considered big gossip deals.
yeah.
So
Or
like,
it's just or it's so like heavily in the timeline, like full promotion, that it's overwhelming. Like, not to say that I don't want to support, but I get so overwhelmed. Like, I feel like it's somebody shoving it down my throat all the time that I'm like, hold up, rewind, pause, one thing at a time, or else I can't process. And now it's like, now I'm feeling rushed to listen to something or to watch something. And I'm like, what, that SpongeBob meme, Mr. Krabs, that's me sometimes, or like where it's of the other SpongeBob where he's like that. Yeah, I feel like that sometimes, and it's just like I feel bad because I want to support, but I need be like to recenter myself, and I'm just like, okay, what, like, how is it with this group? Like, what happened? And
I
then here
also
you
think
go.
like with the, now that we have third generation sort of shifting in a
Yeah,
way where, I know they did this in second gen too, but it just feels like it's so much more common where at some point it stops being group and it goes to singular. So they're doing solo promotions, and it's like that's like 10 times more content to keep up with.
yeah,
Like, and that makes it work, like it's an overload of content. There's too much content on the internet in general.
right.
And like everybody has the attention span of a goldfish because of TikTok.
That's what I was about to say. Is like our attention span is like, yeesh, like now.
Like, we've
Remember
made
before it
ourselves
used to be like
stupid
this? Yeah,
because we can't pay attention for long periods of time. And it doesn't help when people are pushing content constantly. Even
yeah,
sometimes my email inbox makes me like, I can't.
yeah. Like there's always a sale.
It was the
It's just
same
like
person about the same thing from yesterday. I'm like, I can't do this right now. Like, I just can we have
yeah,
24 hours where we all just like calm down for a minute?
yeah,
But no, we can't because of the day and age we live.
yeah,
Goldfish, constant content. There's like that's all they're pushing, and I kind of wish people would think about the detriment of that more than they do,
right,
especially media companies. But they just want to make money, so they're going to follow that trend no matter what.
right. And because if there is a pause, if there is a break, oh shit, we're losing money. That means loss of interest. And so it's a double-edged sword, and it just sucks that this is the the type of culture we live in now, where it's just so focused on that part of thing that it like, not to say that it isn't fun, but at the same time it's like you can't enjoy it as much as you used to anymore, because like the content, of course we love the content, it's just how do you keep up